Welcome once again to Zero to Hero Web Design course. In this video, I will be taking you through what I call basics of web design. In this video, you will be taught some little terminologies that you are going to meet when you start working on your website. The little things you need to know, things like domain name, things like hosting, things like web server, things like www, the World Wide Web, things like HTTPS, things like TLS, SSL, and so on and so forth. So this is what we're going to be talking about in this particular video, and I want you to stay attentive as we move. Yes. What is a website? What is a website? What is a website? If somebody asks you, what is a website? What is going to be your definition? How do you define a website? But with what I have on the screen, in defining a website, there are three things you need to note. Web pages, according to this, web pages, domain name, which is also called the website address, then the web server. Those are the three things you must note when you are defining a website. So in your definition, you can say a website can be defined as a collection of web pages identified by a domain name hosted on a web server. It's as simple as that. A website can be defined as a collection of web pages identified by a domain name and hosted on a web server. We will see as we move on what a domain name is, what a web server is, what web pages is. So, but that's just the definition of the website. What is a domain name? What is a domain name? A domain name is your website address that people type in the browser URL bar to visit your website. It is a component of the Uniform Resource Locator, which is also called URL, used to access websites on the internet. In simple terms, if your website was a house, your domain name is the house address. The name is just as simple as that. For example, if your house is in a particular location, the house must have a number and an address. So if anybody wants to visit your house, you give them the address of your house. The same thing with your website on the internet. Anybody that wants to visit your website must have your domain name or your website address. So the domain name is also part of the Uniform Resource Locator. You will see what Uniform Resource Locator is even in this video as I move on. So an example of a domain name is what you see here, www.example.com. Just something like this. This is a domain name. You can see www.example.net, example.org. Those are domain names. So just know that domain name is also your website address. That is the address that people type in the browser to visit your website. Then another thing is, what is a web server? A web server is a computer that runs websites. It's just as simple as that. Looking at the diagram you have, the image you have on this side, this is a web server. This is an image of a web server. As you are looking at it, it's looking like a shelf where you can put some books. So these are the web server that stores the web pages. So if you've hosted your website is running online, is on the internet, then that means your web pages is secured somewhere in these files. You can call it this. No, it's just like a shelf. So you have your folders kept in this place. So that is what the web server is. The basic objective of the web server is to store, process, and deliver web pages to the users. The communication is done using Hypertext Transfer Protocol. Can you see? The basic objective of the web server is to store, process, and deliver web pages to users. When people go to the internet and they type in the browser your domain name and they click send, the server has stored the information you're asking for. The server has it. So when you send, the protocol send information to the web server, and the web server will look for the question you are asking for, and it will return back to you. So a lot of things have been done within that period. When the information is sent to the server sent it back. So that is just the nature of a web server. Like you see, the communication is done using Hypertext Transfer Protocol. So that's what a web server is. You will understand more as we go in the course. The more you work on projects, you understand what these are. Let's move. Another thing I want you to see or understand is what we call www and also the URL. www is also called World Wide Web. World Wide Web, and it is also commonly called the web. That word is coined from the spider web. Understand how spider used to create their webs, interlocked, interconnected, and all that. So this word is coined from the spider web. It's an interconnected system of public web pages accessible through the internet. So one word that you look at there is what's called interconnected. So this particular www connected web pages, several web pages from one internet to the other, from one website to the other. It allows documents to be connected to other documents through hypertext links, enabling the user to search for information by moving from one document to another. For example, you can be on a particular website and you see a link and you click on the link and it takes you to another website. That is the word of www. It's a World Wide Web. It links pages from one page to the other. You are on a page on a particular website. It takes you to another page on another website. That is what the World Wide Web can do. So make sure you understand that it's an interconnected system, and it links web pages together, web pages from one website to the other. Then looking at the URL. URL is the acronym for Uniform Resource Locator. Uniform Resource Locator is the website address you enter into your browser. If you look at this image on your right hand, this whole thing you are seeing here is called URL. In fact, there are times you type just the domain name and the system will help you add the HTTP to it and some other things like that. So this whole thing is the URL. But let's look at this. The URL contains the protocol, which is the HTTP, and that's what you see here, this one. The URL contains the protocol Domain name, this is the domain name from here to here, that's the domain name. And additional path information, which is the folder or file, that is the folder or file where the information is gotten. So this is the file, it's a path. So the whole thing is called the URL, and this small one is called domain name. So when you start with www.so.com, it's a domain name. But when you start with HTTP or HTTPS, like that, is now a URL. That's just the difference between a domain name and a URL. Domain name is part of the URL. For URL, it will start from www. The protocol must be there, and that is the difference between the two. I hope you understand. Then HTTP, HTTPS, then SSL and TLS. These are some terms that people find difficult to understand what it is and all that. So that is why we are taking time to break this down for you. HTTP stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol, and HTTPS stands for Hypertext Transfer Protocol Security. That's the difference. It determines how data is transferred between the host and a web browser. I told you in the previous slide that I explained that when you type your domain name in a browser, it is the protocol, it's the HTTPS that communicates with the web server, and the web server will look for the information you are looking for, and it brings it back to the browser, and you see the web page displayed. So it determines how data is being transferred between the host and the web server It was designed for communication between web browsers and web servers. So it communicates, it's between the web browser and web servers. That's what HTTP and HTTPS do. But the difference between these two that you are looking at now is the S. This S that you are seeing here stands for security. So it means when you see HTTPS, it means the website is secured. When you see HTTP, it means the website is not secured. And anytime from the image you are seeing here, can you see HTTPS? Anytime you see HTTPS, you will see an icon that looks like a padlock. It's not even that looks like a padlock. But when you see HTTP, you won't see this icon there. And that's the difference. So HTTPS means the website is secured, is authentic. But with no S, it means the website is not secure. It can be hacked. It's not good to put your information in such websites, especially payment information, cards information. Put your cards information on websites that are secured, the ones with HTTPS and a sign of padlock. So that is that. So SSL and TLS. SSL is the acronym for Secure Socket Layer, and the SSL, that is the security on every website. So when you see HTTPS, it means there's an SSL running on that website. There's an SSL that is running on the website, and it's called Secure Socket Layer. So when an SSL is running on a website, HTTP will change to HTTPS. The day your SSL expired, it goes back to HTTP, because SSL also is renewable every year. But when you register first on Namecheap, you are going to get a free SSL for 12 months. After 12 months, you start paying for your SSL. So, SSL is a security protocol that provides privacy, authentication, and integrity to internet communications. So, it's to secure your communications, your work on the internet. So, SSL later evolved to what we call the TLS, which is called Transport Socket Layer. So both are still about security. Like I said, as you move on in this project and in this class course, you understand more. Let's move. So next is the top 5 most used domain names. Top 5 most used domain names. If you look at what I have here, the first one is .com domain name. .com domain name, and it's meant for commercial business. When commercial business, maybe probably you are selling online, any commercial business, the best domain name for you is .com domain name. And the next one is .org domain name, and it's meant for non-profit organizations. Non-profit organizations like NGOs, they are not making money. They only solicit for funds and all that. So it's .org domain name is the best for such organizations. Then for government agencies, .gov domain name is very good. Though you have some government agencies that are using .com and some other things, it is not really appropriate. As a web developer, you must know the right domain names for the right businesses. So, also looking at the next one, which is .edu domain name, it is meant for educational institution. And the last one, .net domain name, meant for network organization. So take note of those domain names. They are very important. They are very important, so that you don't use a .edu domain name for a commercial business. It's very important. So, do you know that you can make $5 and above suggesting business domain names to people on Fiverr? What I'm saying is, the little thing we just covered now, you can start making $5 and above suggesting business domain names to people on Fiverr. If you visit fiverr.com, search for gigs in that category, you will have an idea of what I'm talking about. So to deliver this kind of job on Fiverr, all you need to do is to visit businessnamegenerator.com. Let's try it and see. Businessnamegenerator.com. Then you get suggestions of business domain names for the category you searched for in the search bar. So this is what you do. Just go to Fiverr, search for gigs on business domain name generation or stuff like that. You will see a lot of gigs, what people have done when it comes to suggesting domain names for people. There are a lot of people that they don't want to do wala. They have enough money, so they want to give you their wala. So you go and do it for them. So when you look at, I'm trying to go to businessgenerator.com so that the website can come up and I can explain one or two things you need to do in that. So it's loading that website. It's loading it. Let's wait a bit for it. It's loading it. So you can see this is business name generator. Business name generator. So for example, if you are on Fiverr and you got a job that says please generate a business name for me. Probably you have created an account of Fiverr and you have done the gigs. All you need to do is come here. You will search for the name the person gave to you. For example, if the person gave me Excel, say I want a name around Excel. So maybe the name of my business is Excel Shoes. So I want a name around this. So all you need to do is click on generate. So the system is generating it. So it will bring this page. Can you see now? Can you see the names I have already? Excel Boost. Hold on. Excel Shoes. Excel Shoe Mastered. Excel Shoes. Excel Shoes Mouse. Excel Shoes Zodiac. So you will just, all you need to do is look around. Take your time and pick the best one. Excel Ulster, Excel Shoe. It depends on what you want to do. So just type the name on the browser, on the search bar, and you will get a lot of suggestions. So package them. If it's 10 that you want, package 10, package 20, and you deliver it to the person that gave you the job. So let's look at an example of a gig on Fiverr that talks about business domain name generation. So this is fiverr.com. So let's search. Let's say gigs on business name suggestion. So you search. Our system is loading. So can you see now? See, we have a total of 975 people doing this at the moment. So let's scroll. Let's move down. Can you see? I will suggest 10 business name, brand name with logo. This person is charging $25. I will suggest business name, brand name, and do full branding, $50. I will suggest business names and slogans. I'll suggest business name, company name, brand name. I'll suggest 10 perfect brand name or business name and create logo. I'll suggest business name and slogans to you. If you just look, you will see all of them there. If you want to create your own gig, just all you need to do is click on one of these things and you will fashion yours after them. Check, you can look for 2, 3, then you look at what they are doing, check what they are doing right, then you fashion yours after whatsoever that they are doing. So that is the best way to do this. So before I close on this video, I also want to show you another thing which is very, very important. Just a summary of everything that I've been talking about today. So let's move. Now you can see I typed this domain name in the browser. Like I said when I was explaining, I said a domain name is a collection of web pages. These are web pages. If I click this now, it takes me somewhere. If I click this, it takes me somewhere. So a website is a collection of web pages with a common domain name. This is the domain name. This domain name. You know that you can see that HTTPS is not here, but you can see here now. with this HTTPS now, this one has become a URL. Can you see? HTTPS, that's a protocol. We say URL is a collection of protocol. The domain name smsschools.com is the domain name, and this, you can see /reseller. This is the file, this is the path. So it has become a URL. But this one alone, smsschools.com, is a domain name. So that is what I want you to know. Also, talking about the HTTP and HTTPS, you can see that this is HTTPS, and this S, like I said, stands for security. And if you look at here, you can see this padlock icon that I told you about. This website is secured because this website, people pay online. It's an bulk SMS website. People pay online, so we need to make it secure so that people will be confident to use their card on the website. So that is that on this video. So, and that is what we want you to do. So please go to this video over and over again. Try this Fiverr bonus that I just gave to you. You can make $5 and above with this little thing I just showed you. Finally, this is where I'm going to stop on this video. Please go through whatever we've done today. Make sure you understand what HTTP is. You can read further. Go online. That's why you have internet. Go online, read something about everything I've talked about, and I will see you in the next video.